This bike is breaking all the rules. And I love when companies do that. And the reason why I say it's breaking all the rules is because most fat bikes, like this one from Electric, they cap the top speed at around 28 miles per hour. So, you know, you hit the throttle, you got power, power, power. And then it's like the bike hit a brick wall. Try to pedal harder and faster, but the bike still tops out at 28. And I don't know about you guys, but I want to go faster than that sometimes. The Eahora Romeo Pro allows you to tap in to all of that 1200 watt precious, sweet, juicy power. Yeah. For a top speed of 35 miles an hour. Woo! Now you can hit that top speed whether you're pedaling or just using the throttle. And this has got one of these nicer thumb throttles. Now I suggest using the throttle because as you can see, this is a moped style bike, which looks super cool. These are my favorite style of bikes. This one is just a little bit beefier than most moped style bikes that I've tried. For example, the frame, which is just super smooth up here in the head tube. There's no welding scars. But then as you work your way down to where it holds the battery, it gets a little rugged. And I think it looks pretty dang good. I love this cage design holding the battery in. It's like a beast that's locked up and it wants to get out. But with all moped style bikes, you can't raise up the saddle. And so if you did pedal, and when the pedal's up towards the very top, how you doing, little knee?
Pretty good, how are you?
It's a little bit crowded. That's not the most comfortable. So I was glad to see that they put all the power in that throttle. I looked online and saw that they have a rider size rating of 5'7" to 6'4". 5'7", I think pedaling is doable. Anything above 5'10", and especially up to 6'4", you're not gonna wanna pedal this. So if you buy this thinking in your mind, oh, I don't care what this guy says, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna pedal it, just remember this part in the review that I told you so. Another rule that these guys have broken is the range. Most fat bikes that cost around 1,500 bucks, like again, the Electric X Peak, have a range of around 60 miles. The Eahora Romeo Pro has a battery that weighs 26 pounds. Oh, I can barely even curl that. Wow. This has a range of 112 miles, which is about double what you get in most fat bikes. And speaking of doubling, this is almost double the price of most standard fat bikes. Let me just back up the Electric X Peak, which costs $1,400. The Romeo Pro is $2,400, which if I did my math right, is $1,000 more. Yeah, that's right. But that price buys you some nice torque. 60 to 70 newton meters is what you typically find in $1,500 fat bikes. The Eahora has double that. 120 newton meters of jam-packed power, raw testosterone, unadulterated wattage is packed into this thing. Let me just show you the difference between both bikes. Now that torque, as you probably would have guessed, gives you a ton of power for hills. This is over a 20% grade. Started climbing without momentum and it is climbing, even though it weighs 124 pounds, which again is double the weight of most e-bikes. Now, if you guys wanna calm this down, which I don't know why you would, and if you do, shame on you. But if you do, let me show you how to do that. In the advanced settings, if you hold down the plus and minus, this menu pops up. Go to information, speed limit, and you can choose between 41 kilometers per hour down to 10 kilometers per hour. They have a boost sensitivity from 2 up to 100. So if you don't like how powerful the power comes on, you want to slide out all the way to 100. And then you have the soft start option. You want to turn this to 0. And now, even on the highest pedal assist level, I'm only topping out a speedy 6 miles an hour. And the acceleration is, woo, kind of laughable. That is super slow. I hate it. I hate it so much. Gotta change it. Turning the power down on that is like buying a Ferrari and then driving the speed limit. Who's gonna do that? Now, before I talk about the last thing, or the last rule that these guys broke, I wanna talk about some things that I liked and didn't like. And I wanna start off with the dislikes. And the first one, that motor noise is loud. Shh. And the saddle's a little bit hard. And then they also have some cheap and flimsy fenders, and they're not attached that well. The other thing are the turn signals. I like that they have them, but there's no indication on the screen, and there's no beep to let you know that they are on, except when you look back here and you see that it is. All right, now on to the things that I like. And I'm gonna start off with the grips, which are very nice feeling. I love the red connectors that you screw onto the handlebars. It keeps them nice and tight, and it just matches other components along the handlebars. I like the high and low beam option. I like the loud horn. Control pass is simplistic and basic, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I love how everything is spelled out in the advanced settings. There's no guesswork. There's no P menu, M menu, Z menu, D menu, A menu, B menu, 1 menu, 2 menu, Z, triple C menu. On the right side, you have a trigger style 7-speed shifter, one at a time going down rapid fire coming back up, mineral oil hydraulic brakes, right side controls the rear, left side the front. When you hit the brake lever, the tail light flares up. Oh, back to the blinkers, I'll just show you. Got a cool arrow to the right. I think the LCD screen is pretty cool looking. When you change the assist levels, the color changes. Just a nice touch. Now the tires, nothing super special about them. They're just CST BFT 26 by 4.0 with some decent tread, just a standard tire. Okay, so now I could talk about the last thing. A lot of $1,500 bikes have a hydraulic spring suspension. The Eahora Romeo Pro has a huge motorcycle air suspension. And then in the rear, you got spring suspension. And there's this dial that you can loosen and tighten that up. So that is all the way rotated right. Let's see what it feels like. Ooh-wee. Pretty sure that is tight. That feels tight. Let me rotate it the other way. Oh, no, that's tight. Okay, yeah, that's worse. There's one more thing I want to show you guys, and that is the clearance that you got. Look at this. I can crawl underneath this bike. Yeah. The frame of this bike is huge, and it's very long. The Electric X Peak, which is the bike I've been using, this one is 76 inches. Okay, the Eahora is 82 inches. That is a very long bike. And the benefit with that is you have really good stability. I've watched a few other reviews, and that was one of the main things that they talked about, was just how stable and solid the bike is, even at faster speeds. And I would echo that. This is super stable. It feels good going fast, and you can rip around corners at 25, 30 miles an hour. Now, if you want to check out the Electric X Peak, the bike that I've been using throughout the review, I've got it up here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.